And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another qualifier here of the Esports World Cup 2025, the Americas Closed Qualifier. Again, I'm of course your host, Live VIP, with whom I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to our second qualifier of the evening. Of course, earlier today we were live with the Asia qualifier. Now we're back with the Americas. Oh boy, and what a stacked bracket as well. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is insane, and we are and we have a lot to go through. Here we go from the top. So we have been going over the open qualifiers over the past couple of days. We're going through open qualifier day number 1, open qualifier day number 2 as well. A lot of open qualifiers, but now we are here. Now we are back with the closed qualifier. Back with the closed qualifier, back with our top 8 players of the Americas region. Here we go. We have from the top Trigger versus Master. Trigger, of course, from Canada, Master from Brazil. We have Special Juanito from Mexico. We have Future from the Americas. We have Scarlett from Canada. We have Diego Kelazhur from Brazil, Chan from Mexico, and Estrella from the Americas as well. We have our top 8 players, a very well kind of balanced group of Protoss, Terra, and Zerg from all around the Americas as well, from Latino America, from North America as well. It's great to see. And out of all these players, only one can qualify for the main event, so there can be only one. Best of luck to everyone involved. Of course, as you can tell by the title of the stream, we are going to be covering Scarlett versus Kelazhur. Meanwhile, the mainstream are going to be covering Cham versus Estrella. So an intense matchup is going to be coming up ahead of us here. Over the mainstream, I believe Steadfast and Beomov are going to be casting. I also believe Rotterdam is covering his own series as well. I'm not too sure which match he's in, but I believe he's going to be covering one of the other matches that are available to us as well. So best of luck to everyone involved. Again, hope you're all ready in the chat as well for a night full of StarCraft. Let's go, baby, let's go. As we're jumping into game 1, videos are complete, and we are jumping into Maganatha. Let's go. Likewise, as we're jumping into the first game of the series, this is a best of 5, by the way. Best of 5, not a best of 3. Oh boy. And spawning in the top right on the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran. It is Kelazhur. Diego, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 5. Also, as we get into this, a big shout out in the chat as well to Rodin18. Thank you so much for the subscription for 19 months. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it always, Pappy, always. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft, as we had a bit of a shaky start to the day as well. Earlier today we were live with the Asia qualifier, but we could not cast the Korean qualifier. If you follow me on social media, follow me on Twitter, I was posting about it. I was posting how we were stuck patching the game for 2 hours. Unironically, 2 hours. We were stuck patching the game. By the time we finished patching, the Korean qualifier ended. No one casted. No one casted the Korean qualifier as a result. I was so sad. I was smurging, Pappy. I was smurging. Thankfully, we were able to get back in game and cover the Asia qualifier at least, but we missed out on the Korean qualifier, and everyone missed out. It's very sad start to the day, but again, we should be okay moving forward here. From here, we should be able to wrap up and get into the Korean qualifier tomorrow without any issue, I would hope, I would imagine. Until then, though, we're wiping the slate clean. We're now getting into the Americas qualifier. We are ready with our ZvT. So far, standard opener, we have a Rex Expand here from, CC first out of Kelazhur. But on Maganatha, you can get away with this. Welcome one and all to the largest map in the map pool. This is the biggest map that we have to offer. Longest rush distance by ground. So something like a CC first is viable on this map. So very greedy start here from Kelazhur. Meanwhile, Scarlett across the map going hatch gas pull. Link speed is soon to be on the way, pulling out of gas, looking to get a third base as well, and getting to a standard opener. Let's go. Now, if you were here earlier this morning, we were covering Kelazhur. I say this morning, yesterday, I guess. technically 24 hours ago, we were covering Kelazhur in his own matches. We were covering Kelazhur versus Eggs, if you recall, versus El Huevito, and we did see quite a wide berth of play from Kelazhur, ranging from standard play, ranging from 2 base all-ins, ranging from a 2-axe Reaper as well. So Kelazhur, he has been quite diverse when it comes to his play. Here is being quite greedy though. Remember, CC first into a 3rd CC before starport. So very economic, very greedy build here from our Terran player, taking advantage of the map itself and looking to take a lead economically. Meanwhile, nothing crazy out of Scarlett, still just droning. So far the early game is a little bit more is going to be a little bit more slower. I don't know. Sorry, I was just catching up with the chat. The other game is a little bit more standard. There we go. A little bit more tame here, a little bit more reserved, as both players are just droning, saturating. Both players are being focusing on their economy, I should say, more than anything. From here, we're getting to reactor Hellion into Banshee play. No Reapers, I should emphasize that, of course. Getting into the tech lab. From here, we can go for an add-on swap into Banshee, or we can keep the tech lab on the racks and go for a faster stim. Kelazhur does have options with how it wants to engage the mid game. Link Scout comes in, and Scarlett does confirm the opener. Big scout there from Scarlett. She does get eyes on the CC, on the starport timing as well, and on the add-on. So Scarlett sees everything she needs to. Meanwhile, Kelazhur now moves out. Behind this, it's going to be on Scarlett to keep up with Queens. Now, because the map is so large, and because it's so big, and because there are so many bases, it is not uncommon to see Muta play here on this map. And we all know that Scarlett, at least back in the day, would be quite fond of that kind of style. So we could see the resurgence of Lingbane Muta here on Maganatha. Otherwise, we could just be seeing Lingbane into Hydra. We'll see. The thing about Scarlett is that her games are quite limited when it comes to what's being publicized, because Scarlett hasn't really been active. Scarlett did take the off season off. Right, Scarlett, from July of last year up until only like 1 month ago, Scarlett wasn't really competing in tournaments. Recently, she came back for the Boomer Bash. You know, that was last month on Wardy's channel, and then she started playing in some open tournaments as well. But again, that was only in recent times. That was only in the last month or so. So we don't really know the current state of play for Scarlett. Obviously, she's been practicing, she's been training, she's been improving over the past couple of weeks. But how does she compare to everyone else? We're here to find out. Let's go. We're here to find out. As the Hellions do poke in, they poke out. Likewise, oh my god. Oh man, if you recall at the start of the game, I was referring to how like we've been seeing a lot of diverse play at a Kelazhur, how we saw some like 2x Reaper, we saw some 2 base all-ins, we saw some bio play last time during the open qualifiers. Well, now we're seeing mech. Now we're seeing nothing but mech here. So a greedy start from Kelazhur into Mass Factory. He's here to mech it up. He's here to make it up. Likewise, he did open up Banshee. He did go for the add-on swap. The Hellions are looking to poke in. They're looking for a way into the mineral lines, into the bases. So far, Scarlett is keeping up, but Scarlett has yet to confirm what's going on. She has yet to scout the mech of choice. She's yet to confirm. Hellions, they poke in, they pull away, more factories are finishing up. We do have a Banshee still amassing behind this. We might just not stop Banshee production. There is a style of mech where you go into battle mech with a Banshee support and you just keep making Banshees as well. And they honestly do a great job when it comes to sniping Ravagers, sniping Queens, getting into mineral lines, and just pulling apart the attention of the Zerg player. Meanwhile, 1-1-1, oh, sorry, I say 1-1. Meanwhile, 1-1 upgrades here into Mainling, so Lingbane out of Scarlett. Everything so far looking standard, but against mech, we need roaches. Like, roaches are going to be required here against a more mech composition. Some players have tried to play around with Lingbane Hydra against battle mech with mixed results, but it does feel just really risky to go for that style because your army is just so fragile and so vulnerable. So often we don't see it. Not anymore. Meanwhile, we do have a blue flame alongside mech pillars on the way here for Kelazhur, embracing battle mech, initially starting with Mass Hellion, and now he reveals himself. Yeah, seeing this many Hellions has to be mech. Now Scarlett knows instantly. Ooh, Hydra then. We did speak about it as a Lingbane Hydra is viable here, but it is difficult to pull off. I mean, at this point, we're already getting into mailing speed, already getting to the melee upgrades, may as well. As Banshees do hit the third, the fourth even. Catching out 2 workers. 2 drones going down. Now, when it comes to Ling Bane Hydra, again, it's a very fragile unit composition. It has a lot of potential, has a lot of DPS, has a lot of firepower, of course. The real strength of Ling Bane Hydra, though, comes in the form of the Viper. Once you get into Hive Tech, as the Queen goes down, well, once you get into Hive Tech, once you get in towards Viper composition, that's when you can really thrive and start to abduct the Cyclones and really support your army. Speaking of, there it is, Infestation Pit. This should be for the Hive. Likewise, we can also go into Infestors early on to try to lock down the army as well. Infestors can support. As Hellions, they poke in. Go for the Queens. Yeah, the first Queen is under fire. The first Queen is going to go down. Ling Bane does roll on forward. Look, good reactions here from, from the Hellions. They do pull away, and a couple of Banelings will connect. Not bad, cashing out 4 or 5 Hellions. But here come the Cyclones. Here come the Cyclones, and you saw just how heavily they just dominated the Ling Bane. The Ling Bane barely put a dent. There's barely any Ling Bane left, and now the Hydras are exposed. And lock-ons are brutal. And Kelazhur, he's overrunning, going for the mule. Oh wait, Kelazhur. I mean, hey, he baits out some of the Banelings. Oh no! I was about to say, he's like, it was an accident. Kelazhur, you're an animal. Oh my god. How could you? GG, and Kelazhur, he will break through. He will take a lead in the series. Oh my god. Kelazhur, again, saying that it was, I think they're good friends. I should take it back a little bit. Kelazhur, Scarlett, a lot of the NA players, Estrella, they're all good friends with each other, and I do buy that Kelazhur did that by accident, but that's still a very, very smudge accident. Oh my god. Este Diego. GG, well played. With that, Kelazhur does take game number 1, and I'm sure he's apologizing profusely to Scarlett for that. His inner Terran just took over. What an animal. Just every Terran fiber within him told him to mule. Jesus. Ay, ay, ay. With that, we're getting to our next game. Jesus. Kelazhur just said, I'm sorry, I gotta unhockey the rapid fire on that one of these days. Scarlett saying Z. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series, but looking to bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. We have the Brazilian Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Kelazhur. Here we go. As we are going to be opening up. Now, when it comes to the mech style that we saw out of Kelazhur, part of why we saw it, as we were trying to emphasize, is Magnatha is a very large map. You can be very greedy, and it does allow you to get away with that sort of play without being punished by any kind of run-bys or counterattacks. So, as a result, mech on a map like Magnatha makes a lot of sense. I don't see mech working anywhere near as well here on Ultra Love. Welcome to one of the smaller maps. We go from extremes, largest map, to this is not the smallest, but one of the smallest maps in the map pool. Here, aggression is favored. Aggression is favored, not just favored, but also seen quite often here on Ultra Love. We get a lot of all-ins, we get a lot more assertive styles. That goes both ways, by the way. Because of that, we see a lot of Zerg players actually open up Roach. We saw Ling Bane out of Scarlett last time because usually you can get away with that, but on these smaller maps it is considered to be safer to go into Roach play instead, then into Ling Bane. So Roach opener, then into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Sticking with just purely Ling Bane can be quite difficult to get away with, especially if your opponent doubles down and they go for something like an 8 rank, for example. If they go for very strong timing attacks with Sim, with +1, with a bio style, it can hit quite hard here. But we'll see. Go. Here we go. I see Risky in the chat. Brutal Diego. Again, he was apologizing to Scarlett, even out of game, was apologizing. And again, they're good friends. Este Diego. For now, Hatch got spool, standard for now to Scarlett. Reaper does get into the middle line. And the dance has begun. Picks off nothing yet. Doesn't get a Zergling, doesn't get a drone. So far, solid defense here from Scarlett. Behind this third CC before Starport. So economic opener here out of Kelazhur. So far, so good. Go. As there's that starport on the way. Now, just because it's a 1-1-1 doesn't mean it's going to be standard play. I do expect to see bio out of Kelazhur now. He's not just a mech player. Typically, that's something you want to mix in a couple of times in a series. Remember, this, bearing in mind, this is the best of 5. We might see it once more. Or we might see it all the time. Meanwhile, if you recall at the start of the game, we spoke about how it's considered safe to go for roaches on Ultra Love, and there it is, Roach Warren from Scarlett. Again, this isn't really too much of a surprise, and if we can call something like roaches at the start of the game, then Kelazhur, I'm sure this is also in the back of his mind as well, to scout and to check the tech, and to see if it is going to be roach play. Now, the thing about roach-based openers here is that I was talking about how it's a little bit safer, and true, like lava-wise, it's a little bit more efficient. You get more units early on, and you can be very safe against your Hellions, against your early game pushes. But if Scarlett does cut worker production, then we can actually be quite aggressive with this. We spoke about the rush distance by ground being short on this map. We spoke about, or now we're speaking about how some of these bases are a little bit more vulnerable. They're a little bit more exposed, especially because of that rush distance. So something like a Roach All-In is available here to Scarlett. Not saying she has to, but that's also going to be in the back of Kelazhur's mind. So we'll keep an eye on the drone counts. We'll see if Scarlett does commit. For now, a couple of Roaches are on the way. There is the lair. So 420 lair timing. Working towards Roach speed. A couple of Roaches are on the way to help defend. And Scarlett is still droning. Scarlett is still droning up. Behind this, we do have Bioplay out of Diego is going for extra Raxes, a 3-1-1 setup. We'll see if Kelazhur is deterred to go for such a thing against a Roach style. We'll see. So now, poking in. Scarlett setting up in case the Hellions do go for a dive. Behind this, getting a 4th base. Getting those Evo chambers. And for now, just holding on with Roach Raptor. So far, so good. These Roaches, they do poke in. They catch a couple of Hellions. Likewise, Banshee's making their way into the main. And we'll see if Scarlett can keep up. Still droning, still saturating. Scarlett also scouts. Does confirm the bioplay. If you recall, last game there was no scout out of Scarlett, and she was, in a way, playing blind. She was not fully aware of what Diego was up to, but this time she knows. This time she is aware. And so far, 4 drones going down. Nice damage with the Banshees. To have +1 range on the way so far for Scarlett. I'm curious to see if we invest into 2-2 upgrades, if we go that far, or if we go into +1 melee after +1 range to switch into Ling Bane. As I mentioned before, just because we open Roach Ravager doesn't mean that you have to commit to purely Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, Infestation Bit, our first big sign here that we are taking. Likewise, Scarlett does start droning her 4th base as well, so we're gearing up towards a longer game state. Scarlett's just droning, saturating, macroing up. There's that Baneliness, so this should be initially Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, and with this fast hive, we can rush into Ultras. That's typically the tech path that you go down here. Again, the Roach Ravager is just an opener, then you abandon it, and then you get into Ling Bane, and then you get into Ultras. There is another path you can go down, which is Roach Ravager into Hydra Lurker Viper. That is a less traveled kind of path, but it is also a thing. It's also viable. Hive is on the way. Baneliness is done. So far, Scarlett just focusing on defense, spreading the creep very well, by the way. The creep is already covering half of the map. We're getting to that point. And the pressure's on Kelazhur to try to deter that. Moving out with a double drop. Likewise, a 4th CC is on the way. Kelazhur moving in. And of course, we're taking gases, 4th CC. Kelazhur is not going for an ARAX, is not committing to any kind of aggression. We are just saturating, building up, and we're embracing a much more standard game state here for both players. There's that hive that we spoke about. And with this hive, we can go into Viper production, into our spellcasters. We're expecting to see ultras on the horizon, but we'll see. We'll see what Scarlett does decide to take into. That's a lot of roaches. Geez, 21 roaches on the way. Oh my god. So I was just caught off guard by hearing myself. Meanwhile, we do deny the expansion. Nice pick up here from Kelazhur. Oh, did the stream go down? Ooh. Wait, what? Why did the stream go down? I do apologize. Sorry, on my end, everything's fine. Oh, that's concerning. But yeah, we've been good. Do apologize. As we do have we spoke of the ultras. Ultras are on the way. Ultra Cavern, I should say. The problem is that because there's a 2-minute delay for the stream to reconnect, it takes 2 minutes. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't occur again. If it does, I'll probably have to restart the stream and connect to a different Twitch server. Because it looks like maybe the Twitch server is a little bit unhappy, but here we go. Firewire does stim in, has out a couple of workers, takes down the spine crawler. The hatchery does go down. Nice pickup. Okay, we're taking him towards ultras. Yeah, Curry is telling me that our YouTube stream was fine. It was just on Twitch. That's unfortunate. So it looks like something's happening with Twitch. Regardless, focus on our game. Again, if you want to watch the parts that you missed, then it's all on YouTube. it's fine there. As we are streaming on both platforms. But regardless, we do see Scarlett going for a split push. Now, Scarlett, she wants to get rid of these roaches. She invested quite heavily into this roach army. We want to trade them out. We want to get rid of them and switch it out for Lingbane and for ultras. As melee upgrades are on the way. Scarlett does trade, but these are efficient trades for Kelazhur. Kelazhur picking up every single roach. Roaches are going down. Scarlett rotates. And thankfully is getting rid of the roaches, but again, not the most ideal way. How many Vipers? So far, two. Two Vipers. Ultra production. Spires in production as well for that Corruptor tech. Or for potentially Greater Spire. Into Broodlords. Also breaking up both armies at max. But again, Scarlett still has too much Roach Ravager. Takes down one tank. So Kelazhur moving in. Scarlett is split. Scarlett ready on both sides. Is ready. But yeah, if you're in the chat, let me know if the stream goes down again on Twitch. If it does, then I'll probably have to restart the stream and just connect to a different Twitch server. But that's disappointing to hear if that's happening on Twitch. Smurge. As Kelazhur does stim in. Likewise, coming back the army. The creep is receding. Gets one of the ultras. Gets one. Gets two. If both ultras go down, mass abductions, takes down the tanks with the Marine army. They just stim in. They take down the Roach Ravager. Banelings are rolling forward, but off of creep, they should not connect, and they don't. Yeah, no major connections. Kelazhur is still rallying out. Still has a line of attacks behind this. Better trades for Kelazhur. Scarlett rebuilding. Building back up on ultras. Did she lose her Vipers? Oh, she lost her Vipers. That is brutal. Both Vipers did go down. But Scarlett's creep so far still spreading quite nicely, especially towards the left-hand side. Spreading into Kelazhur's bases. You know, Kelazhur wants the expansion. Up! Oh my god, just barely does snipe the base. Oh my god, piles don't quite connect, and Kelazhur does get away. Massive pickup. Takes down the Fringe expansion. Meanwhile, Infestor's on the way. Getting to Biles. Oh, Tank's on siege at the wrong moments. Oh my god. Yeah, Tank's getting on caught on siege. Massive pick up here as well as 4 tanks go down for free. A nice catch here from Scarlett. Very nice catch. Lings, they move out. The only Fappy stream is also fine. Oh no. Not like this. Meanwhile, double Nidus into the main. Kelazhur getting to ghost production. Does for the boys. The army does respond. Oh, the changelings though. Let's go. Changelings, they do delay. At the same time, Scarlett pushing into planetary. Planetary goes down. Nicely done. Down goes to planetary, but oh my god, the Bio army does him hard. Shuts out most of Ling Bane. Doesn't quite catch the ultras. More Lings pushing on the right hand side as well. Scarlett doing well, pulling Kelazhur apart. Overseer still in the main. Kelazhur having a hard time. Ooh, as the planetary falls, Kelazhur losing 2 bases. And Scarlett's not done. Scarlett pushing right down mid as well, getting another planetary. And this might just be too much. Kelazhur trying to escape, trying to evacuate. Trying. Kelazhur does break out, snipes the initial Viper, not bad. Viper goes down, Kelazhur does take down the base across the map, but that's still going to be 20 SCV kills. Kelazhur does have a bank, but he has to get a handle on his bases. As he's barely remaxing. Once again, Scarlett moving in. Does push forward, massive fungal. Yeah, fungal catching at the army, change fungal on the ghost. Yeah, massive fungals here as the entire army gets caught out. Snipes are still brutal, and oh my god, Kelazhur does take the fight, but still plummets in supply. Those are expensive losses here, leaving so many marauders, so many ghosts, and Kelazhur cannot rebuild. Meanwhile, Scarlett can. Scarlett, she can rebuild. Oh god, be careful. But Scarlett, she can remax. More Lings, more ultras on the way. Another Ling run by coming in. Kelazhur trying to build back up. Trying to. Scarlett already maxed out once again. And Kelazhur needs time. He needs time to build back up and to recover, but Scarlett, she's not giving him that time. Catching out the ghost, massive pickups here. 3 ghosts, 4 ghosts going down. And losses that Kelazhur cannot afford. GG gets called, and Scarlett will overwhelm. Scarlett will take game number 2 and tie up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. Scarlett does tie the series up. And again, Scarlett able to get into her own final form, able to max out, get up to 4, 5, 6 bases. Kelazhur, I would say, had a decent start in the mid game when he was able to snipe the Vipers, catch out the ultras as well. But the moment that momentum swung heavily in favor of Scarlett was when she caught, what was it, 4, 5 tanks? Like, she caught so many tanks in the center of the map. They were left unattended and they all went down for free. And from that moment, Kelazhur, he was stuck at home. He never quite rebuilt that tank count. He was not as fortified as he otherwise should be on his 5 bases, and Kelazhur was torn apart left and right. GG, well played. And more importantly, we have a back and forth. We have a back and forth series. I was a little bit concerned. I do not want to see a one-sided matchup for either of these players, whether it's the direction of Scarlett or Kelazhur. I want to see a game 4. I want to see a game 5. I want us to go the distance. But let's go. Let us go. As again, Scarlett does recover here. And up next, we're going to be loading into Persephone. Persephone is going to be one of these more aggressive maps as well. I mean, I say aggressive map. I mean, we actually see quite a bit of later games here. The thing about Persephone is that there are less bases. There are less bases, but they're relatively closer to each other, more so than on Ultra Love, or more so than even on Pylon, for example, as well, where you're a little bit more spread out. So here the base is a little bit more compact, but the map itself is smaller. It's a smaller map overall. There are kind of less avenues of attack. There's less rotation potential to try to catch your opponent off guard. So, yeah, we get a bit of a mixed bag here on Persephone, and there are definitely some unique features, like the healing pad and the gold bases. We'll see. We'll see how our players will approach this. We'll see if Kelazhur will mix it up a little bit. As on Ultra Love, Kelazhur went for a pretty standard style, going into a 3rd CC before Starport, get into his 1-1-1, get into a 4th base, a 5th base. Like, he wasn't really too aggressive or too timing oriented. But here we go. Here we go. Scarlett famous for crease threading. She is. That's why I'm bringing it up. That's I tend to feel like it's very iconic of Scarlett. That's why we talk about it. Here we go. But it looks like our players need a moment. They do need a moment. As we are now getting ready, our players are back, and we're jumping in. And I'm ready already. I'm glad to see that back and forth matchup here, getting into game 3, and we'll see who takes a lead in the series, and who gains momentum moving forward. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the red Zerg player. We have the Canadian Zerg. We're tying things up 1-1, bringing it back, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player from Atlanta, Brazil, representing himself, currently teamless, being forced into a tied series. It is Kelazhur. Here we go. Go. So we are going to be building up as we are going to be amassing. So far, standard opener, standard timing here with our hatchery, so no early gases, no early spawning pool. So far, so good. Let's go. I just learned the secret to ZvT. Take inefficient trades in early and mid game, and you have 80 drones and bank. Then trade evenly to win. If you recall, it wasn't, I mean, we tried to bring it up at the time, but momentum did swing heavily in favor of Scarlett when she did catch all those tanks. Again, it meant that as a result, the bases were more vulnerable. It meant that her run-bys were more effective. It meant that she could actually find damage at those fringe locations. Not just that, but, I mean, someone else brought it up in the chat, and yes, 100%. Because of the multi-player aggression, there were 2 groups, really 3 groups that were moving in. We had the double Nidus, which was, of course, distracting and pulling away some supply. Likewise, Ultras towards the left, and another army on the right-hand side as well. And we saw Scarlett just all over the map, all over Kelazhur. It was impressive. It was very impressive to see Scarlett being able to overwhelm Kelazhur in such a way. But now we are loading into Persephone. Let's go. Likewise, you can also see, just because the map is so small, like once a mistake is made, once a fight goes awry, like so quickly, you can just counterattack, you can just keep pushing in into the bases and just apply that pressure and be unrelenting. Just not let up. It can be quite an intense map. Here we go. We are loading into Persephone. Persephone coming up next. Reaper moves out. Last game, Kelazhur wasn't quite able to get a Zergling or a drone. This time poking forward. This time poking in. Gets a Zergling, not bad. Pulls away. And once again, 3rd TC before Starport. Economic opener here out of Kelazhur. Nothing crazy this time. As a reminder, we didn't see any kind of like strong committed timings out of Kelazhur last game either. It was a little more macro-oriented, a little more passive. I mean, he was being aggressive with drop play and trying to at least deny creep, that is true. He wasn't able to get really past that halfway mark, which can be difficult on ultra level. Here, less so. There are kind of less defensive positions. As Reaper pokes into the main, trying to get a read on what's going on. We can see that there's no early tech. But Scarlett actually pulls back into gas sooner. Okay, you have my attention here. Saturating her bases. Is building up. With that, Scarlett gets 100 gas a lot sooner than normal here. We'll see if we're going to do anything with it. Behind this, we go into Cloak Banshee. So 3 CC Banshee out of Kelazhur. Hellions are being active. Kelazhur's looking for another way in. And so far, Scarlett doing a great job of just keeping up with the Hellions. Likewise, moves out with her Lings. Trying to catch out the army if at all possible. Scar comes in, does confirm the tech lab on the starport, does the researching, and I was curious what was going to be done with the gas. Roaches. We're getting into roach play. That is going to be a roach horn, and alas, no lair. Okay, later lair timing. At around 450. But if you recall, we saw roach play on Ultra Love, and we were emphasizing how because the map is so much smaller, we often do see roach play as a bit of a safer way to open up in ZvT. I would apply the same logic here on Persephone as well. Ooh, and Kelazhur this time making it up once again. Now, we did expect to see this at least once more in this series. I wasn't expecting it so soon, though. Okay. So extra factories are being thrown down. Now, thankfully, Scarlett is already going into roaches. Even without the scouts. Like, she had only seen the 111. She'd only seen the 3rd CC. There was no tell. But again, because the map is smaller, roach play is a little bit more common. As we are building up. And because Scarlett is already blindly going into roaches, and then she will have a stronger force against the initial Hellion Cyclone. Again, game 1 did go heavily in favor of Kelazhur because Scarlett took so long to scout and took so long to realize what was happening until it was already too late. She didn't realize it was mech until the Hellions arrived. The mass Hellion, I mean. So game 1 was a late scout and a late reaction. This time, she's already set up, getting into 1-1 upgrades. Cloak Banshees are deflected. And we'll see what Kelazhur can get done. Now, I'm not saying that because Scarlett is opening up roaches that just hard counters mech play. Not at all. It's just that now Scarlett is going to have a bit of a more robust army against mech, naturally. And now she confirms. Overseer goes into the main, and now she does confirm the production. We have the infestation bit already on the way. From here, we can go into early infestors and early fungal growths. So this time she has the information she needs. This time she's aware of what's going on. There is no surprise factor for the mech. As Banshees, they do hit the would-be 4th. I guess 5th base. So 5th base under fire. It's going to be cancelled. Going to be denied. Oh. Kelazhur does pull back. Investing into Hyperflight Rotors. So Kelazhur, he's committing into non-stop Banshee production. We did speak about this in game 1, how there is a style of mech where you go battle mech with Banshee support and you keep pumping out Banshees. And specifically, they actually do a really great job when it comes to sniping infestors. Like in the midst of the fights. Ooh, meanwhile, Overlord Speed is on the way. More roaches are amassing. We did not invest into infestors. We're going for a hive instead, so faster hive, Nidus Swarm as well. So if I head into rotate, they do a great job here at denying creep. Scarlett does move out. Scarlett does move out across the map. Again, going into a Lingbane Roach Ravager composition. Lings are ready for a run by. Hellions still being active. Again, they're just a 9 creep. That's her only job. And Scarlett is about to max out. Yeah, she's knocking down those rocks. getting ready to rally. The max is about to be here. The max out, I should say. Getting to mainly speed. Scarlett, she's almost there. Meanwhile, behind this, oh, geez, that's a lot of cyclones. That's a lot of cyclones. 11 cyclones already. They've been banking up back at home. And now they're meeting up with the main army. Banshees, they go for the Ravagers. One Ravager going down already. Nidus into the main. And Kelazhur, does he notice? Does catch out a couple of Ravagers. 2, 3 Ravagers do fall. Nidus in the main is spotted, but it will finish. And Lings go for a massive run by as well. Kelazhur out of position. Nidus does complete. Lings hit the mineral line. And nothing quite in the Nidus. But still, SCVs are going down. Getting up to 13. 13 workers. Roach's Ravagers, they do pop out eventually. They won't get much done. Yeah, the Roach Ravager is cleaned up. Nidus on the right. Nothing quite inside. And Kelazhur holds. Does bleed out 13 SCVs, but not the worst loss here for Kelazhur. He's got mules, he can rebuild, he can remax. His army is still standing. And from the side of Scarlett, so far, the Hive is mainly being used for upgrades. We have Adrenal on the way. No Infestors yet. Going for Mass Drop Lord. Overlord Speed was done quite some time ago. Scarlett going for the gold. As Kelazhur, he's shocking around. Scarlett avoids the main army. Once again, getting ready for run-bys. We have a Ling run-by here on the right-hand side. Likewise, Drop Lords through the left, I would imagine. As Kelazhur is maxed. Back at home, does leave some supply to defend. Oh, that's going to be killed. Yeah, that's going to be killed on a cancel. Nice pickup. Once again, going for the center tower as well. The Soul distracts the Soul, buys time, and Scarlett, what's she doing with that time? More upgrades, going for the Spire. From here, can start getting ready for a potential Broodlord Infestor if need be. Now, when it comes to this army, you can't... Oh, as the Dropper Lords are getting caught out. Oh, God. That's a lot of dead Dropper Lords, and Scarlett is heavily supply blocked. Ling run by once again, but Banshees are back at him to defend. Not the best unit to defend against Lings, but, I mean, they're still there. Ooh, that's another kill. Jesus. Another kill. We do cancel one of the CCs, thankfully. As we just see Diego racing all the way back home. A couple of Lings do burrow. Once again, Kelazhur is distracted. Scarlett able to buy time to break out of that, break out of the supply block. And now we have Infestors. Okay, what I was going to say earlier is that you can deal with this kind of army without Infestors if you can surround, if you can outposition your opponents, if you can lure them onto creep and then come in from behind. But these head-on engagements will not go the way of Scarlett. Oh my god, Kelazhur! Nuke remaining forward. Jesus. Gets a little bit too cavalier with his army. Bleeds out a lot of Cyclones, but despite that, the Locons are brutal. And I'm afraid to look. How were the trades? That was 7 Cyclones for 9 Ravagers, 40 Lings. Banshees, they come in. 3 Queens that go down. The queen count is limited. Oh, nice fumble. Very nice fumble. Very nice Biles as well. Catching out 2 of those Banshees. Well, we spoke about this earlier. They are designed to hunt down those Infestors. They get 1. There's 2 Infestors left. Likewise, they force out those Fungals. Ooh, we're running out of Hellions. Yeah, Kelazhur is running out of Hellions. He's running out of support. He needs those Hellions to buffer. As he does race back, leading out even more Cyclones. Extensive losses here for Kelazhur. Biles take down another one of these Cyclones. But at the same time, with the reinforcements, looks like Kelazhur, he has enough. He has enough, he breaks through. Pushing onto creep. Zerglings are amassing. This army is very vulnerable to Zerglings. Again, the Hellion count isn't there. Once again, going for a run-by. There are a couple of Hellbats, okay. A couple of Hellbats to defend. And I'm a little bit afraid to look, but did any Infestors survive? 2. Okay, there's still 2 Infestors. They barely did survive. But again, I feel like, especially in that last fight, you saw like the power and the potential of those Banshees, where you can hunt down those Infestors and force out those Fungals as well ahead of time. And there's still a couple of Banshees left over. To deal with them, Scarlett did make a couple of Corruptors. Corruptors now in the mix. Kelazhur claiming another expansion. Oh, he's trying to claim another expansion. The Nidus Horns are brutal. Scarlett looking for another way in. Overseer behind the main base of Kelazhur, getting ready for another Nidus. Scarlett has been able to claim the gold. We'll have a boosted economy as a result. Loving the Bard Infestors. Still only 2, I believe. Yeah, still only 2. Army gets spotted. Kelazhur has to pull away. I believe does spot the Infestors as well. I'm mainly concerned by the lack of Infestors. Like, 2 Infestors can be okay if they can connect their Fungals. If not, it can be terrifying. Speaking of, Fungal connects with 3 Cyclones. And takes down 2. Oof, 2 Cyclones go down. Infestors are spotted. Kelazhur pulling away, claiming another base, at least trying to. And now it does confirm the gold. Kelazhur out of position, going for the planetary, and it should go down. Oof. Yeah, massive alien connections. Nice pick up, 11 SCVs. SCV kills. Scarlett again, thanks to the gold base, she can afford these trades. Instantly remaxes, has the bank to work with. Oh, here goes the fungal! Oh my god, massive connection! They have brutal fungals! And they, alas, Kelazhur does take them to the face. More Cyclones now coming in. Better concave out of Kelazhur. Scarlett does zone. Does zone away, but Kelazhur keeps on pushing. Again, no fungals left. Forcing back the army. Link's coming from behind. Trying to get the surround up. And the army is locked down. Cyclones, they can barely not get away. Oh my god. A lot of Cyclones do fall. A lot of Cyclones being sniped. Kelazhur does pull up in supply, and you can see the difference here. The armies do trade, but that was a worse trade for Kelazhur. He has no bank. Kelazhur compared to Scarlett. Scarlett can remax. Kelazhur is having a hard time. Making use of the heal. Oh jeez, the speed zones. Catching up the Cyclones. Pushing towards the gold. Kelazhur needs more time. Likewise, Scarlett has yet to remax. Has a lot of Ling Bane, but maybe limited with Larva. Oh! Yeah, Lings are coming for the surround once again. Where are the Hellions? Yeah, pure Ling shuts down the Cyclones. There is no support. Now we're making 7 Hellions. Now the Hellions are coming out, but again, it's late. The damage has been done, and Scarlett has done it. Has broken the main army. Taking more expansions, taking more bases. Again, Scarlett can max. Kelazhur cannot. Down to 200 minerals. Again, barely an army for Kelazhur. And Kelazhur, he never took the space. He's been trying. He's been trying for so long. The one burrowed Ling. As Lings, they just surround the army once again. Only 2 Hellbats. Lings, they were overrun. Once again, not able to scan in time. Once again, that Zergling is still denying a base. Nidus Swarm on top of it. Just to ensure that Kelazhur cannot expand. And Scarlett is almost remaxed. So I was curious earlier about why it was taking so long to remax, but Scarlett has no queens. Scarlett has only 2 queens, so injects are very limited. They're very limited here. So Larva as a resource is a bit of an issue for Scarlett. That's why the remax is taking so long. But it's fine. Scarlett does surround, shuts down the Cyclones. Finally, Kelazhur can expand. He just wants to take bases, man. Yeah. And again, there was some strong moments here for Kelazhur, but the economy is failing him. Meanwhile, more tanks going down. And again, Kelazhur doesn't have the supply to be here at the same time. We'll lose the mineral line, we'll lose the base. Kelazhur trying to break out. Trying to break free. Oof. Does bust in. Yeah, and so many drones are falling. I mean, this is a nice run by here by Kelazhur, but this doesn't really matter as much. Scarlett can afford this. Scarlett, she can afford to lose a base. Kelazhur cannot afford to lose this. Oof. Tank goes down. Mining is denied. We have Brood Lords in production. Let's go. Do we have any infestors? 5. Not bad. 5 infestors with the main army. Plenty of fungals. Speaking of, they should be coming in. I will zone. Once again, another Ling run by, another surround. Ooh, this one's going to be a little bit closer, though. As Lings, they barely will get the expansion. Just barely. Oh my god. No repairs. Base goes down. No, Kelazhur not looking, not paying attention, and we'll take the aliens to the face. Brood Lords are revealed, and Kelazhur cannot keep up. Not like this. We want Nidus into the main. It's on the way. Likewise, Lings collapsing on those tanks, getting on top of the Cyclones as well. That's Fungal on the right hand side. Oof. That's another Fungal connects. Yeah, with that GG gets called, there's just nothing remaining here, and Scarlett will take a 2-1 lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG will play. Scarlett will take the lead here. Again, Kelazhur, he had some strong moments, he had some strong fights, but did overextend. If you recall, there was a time on the right-hand side where he did push a little bit too far into creep. The Cyclones got surrounded, they got locked down by the Lings coming in from behind. That was when we saw Kelazhur trying to push towards the goal base. Likewise, Kelazhur, he was also a little bit lax when it came to remaxing or rebuilding Hellions. He was there was, I feel like, one time where Kelazhur, he was almost maxed out, but he was on maybe like 80-85% Cyclones and barely any Hellions whatsoever. It was mainly Banshee, and without that, you saw how well those Lings could trade and just lock down the army and tank lock-ons as well and support the forces of Scarlett without any Blue Flame Hellions. So likewise, again, Battle Mech, you know, is maybe not the most diverse composition out there, but again, it does require that kind of support for the Cyclones. Cyclones are good, but likewise, you know, Cyclone Hellion is even better at times. On top of all that, though, the bases, right? We saw it took so long for Kelazhur to expand top right and to expand in the center as well. And just because of the non-stop aggression, we saw so many Ling round-bys and harassment options there for Scarlett, Nidus Worms as well, and even though it was only a couple of Zerglings or a couple of Nidus Worms, like, it was enough to deny the bases. Kelazhur just didn't have the attention or the time, the room to invest into dealing with that, while also defending in the main and also defending on the other side of the map as well. There was just a lot going on and never found the time to do so, to be able to properly expand for so long. With that, GG well played. With that, Scarlett does take a lead, and now we are getting into our next game. We're loading into Tokamak. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 2-1. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran, down in the series 1-2, and we'll see if he can recover, bounce back, and force the A smash. The pressure is on. One more loss, and he is out of the upper bracket. I should specify that as well. It is Kelazhur. Here we go. So we're getting into Tokamak now. Again, for greater context here, this is a double elimination bracket. This is still the first round, so regardless of who wins and who loses, they will still have a chance to bounce back through the lower brackets. So they will have another life, essentially, to fall back on, regardless of whether Kelazhur or Scarlett go down. Ideally, you want to hold on to that life for as long as you can, of course. But there is still that chance. So now, welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak being one of the larger maps of the map. Well, not as large as Magnatha, but large nonetheless. Very defendable on 4 bases as well. If Kelazhur did want to turtle on this map, this wouldn't be a bad map for it, to slow the game down and to try to get into something a little bit more robust, like a more traditional form of mech, for example. Likewise, I would say that Scarlett would have a stronger chance here at actually getting into a comfortable game state. When I say comfortable game state, I'm thinking of Ultra Love. If you recall, on Ultra Love, Scarlett was able to get into her 3rd, 4th, 5th base, even up to 6 bases without too much issue. She was able to maintain map control. Her crease rate was getting out of hand, and it was quite difficult for Kelazhur to keep up with Scarlett, especially after a rough fight in the center of the map. We could see that kind of dynamic again here on Tokamak. That's a scary thing. Like, if you're going to be passive, if you're going to be more defensive against Scarlett, I mean, that means you relinquish map control, but even more so than normal because of that creep. So it's a hard call to make. I guess what I'm getting at, if Kelazhur wanted to be aggressive on this map, it's more difficult. It's more difficult to be aggressive and to be the aggressor here on Tokamak. Not saying it's impossible, not at all, but, you know, the map is working against you. Because the rush distance by ground, likewise how defendable the 4-base setup is. Wings, they do get across the map, but the Reaper's in position, and the Reaper will... Oh! Looks to deflect. Yeah, gets 1, gets 2. Kelazhur did not SCV scout, so did keep the Reaper back at home. Wings are dealt with. Behind this, going for a 3rd CC before starport. So far, so good. The Raxus float back towards that starport as well for the potential add-on swap into Banshee play. And from here, we could once again embrace mech, or we could go into something like bio again. Again, Kelazhur can play both. Meanwhile, roaches. Interesting. Now, if you recall, we were talking about like roach play and roach-based openers, and we brought the subject up on Ultra Love, and we brought it up on Persephone as well, just because the maps are smaller, so it makes sense to open up roach to begin with, just to be safe. Here on Tokamak, I would say that this is a little bit less, it isn't as necessary. Like, here on Tokamak, it is more viable, it is easier to get away with Ling Bane, and to get into that kind of style. Despite that, Scarlett's still playing very safe. Very safe, does still open and does still play roach. After game 1, never again. Meanwhile, we're going into BCs. Add-on swap into Fusion Core. Oh no. As we are looking to rush into those battle cruisers. Meanwhile, Scarlett is going for a much earlier lair. This is what, a 4:15 lair timing? So earlier Roach Warren, much earlier lair as well. Are we going into Overlord speed? Gases are being taken. No Overlord speed yet. If we do see it, then I would lean towards Drop Lord play. But here we're getting to +1 range, so just earlier lair into earlier roach speed. Aliens are moving out. The Viking will deny the scouts. So Scarlett is not fully aware what's happening. We know that they're going to be BCs, but Scarlett is in the dark. Now, seeing the Viking is already a tell. This is the first time we've opened Viking this entire series. Every game so far, it's been Banshee-based play. So, Viking opener, into Banshee, then into BC. Initially seeing the Viking is a tell that it should be at least Liberator follow-up, or Battle Cruiser, of course. Scarlett rushing into the Infestation Pits, thanks to the fast lair. This is a 5:30 or 5:20-ish Infestation Pit timing. That's crazy. Oh my god. Very early. And Kelazhur is meching it up. It's getting into mech. Going into BCs. Scarlett has yet to piece this all together. So far, there are safety spores, at least in some of the bases. There we go, we have a spore on the right, we have a spore on the left. Infestor's on the way. And the BC is coming. How many queens? 6. 6 queens to defend. A bit of a lower queen count. As Hellions pull away, BC teleports into the main. And so far does hard down the drones. So far 3, 4, oh, up to 5 drone kills. 5, 6 drones going to be going down. Queens, they do respond. And the BC should get out of here. It does float away. As 6 drones go down. Not a bad start here by Kelazhur. Scarlett responds with a Spire. And behind this, we are now getting into Cyclones. Now, because we had to invest into the battle cruisers, it does mean that macro accelerators and these upgrades for the mech army are going to be more delayed. They're going to be later. You know, the BC is still getting some damage done. Again, it was a later scout and a later Spire as a result, so Kelazhur can be active. Scarlett, meanwhile, just droning up to 80, getting up to 4 base saturation. Despite the high Hellion counts, Kelazhur hasn't really been able to make use of them, but here we go, he's moving out. How many Hellion seasons? It's 16! Okay. 2 groups of 8. Kelazhur splits up. The roaches are in the center. Bearing in mind they're infestors as well. Kelazhur poking in, distracts on one side. And dives on the other. Yeah, he's going straight for the mineral line. Roaches are distracted. Hellions, they bust in. And drones are going to get roasted. And so far, nice damage. Getting up to 6, 7 drone kills. It was worth it for Kelazhur. Invested quite heavily here, but that's going to be 16 drones. Oh, 17. Getting up to 20. Oh, 18. 18 worker kills. Very nice damage. As Kelazhur pulls away. Lost 7 at Hellions. And that was well worth it. Again, Scarlett was distracted. Going into Swarm her. Okay. Sorry, I did miss that. Going to Swarm her to support. As a follow-up, Swarmhurst can be very efficient. I'm not too fond of Swarmhurst against a battle mech composition, as the Swarmhurst are now spotted. And the BC can punish. Like, nothing here shoots up. Yeah, BCs, they move in. Cyclones respond. So I'm not entirely convinced here, but ooh, the Biles do graze the BCs. There you go, we have 8 Corruptors now on the way. Stormhurst, they excel when it comes to a more traditional form of mech, like a really tank-heavy style, something that's more immobile. Oh my god, speaking of immobile, very nice catch. Nice fungal. Scarlett shuts down one of the BCs. That should not have happened. So very nicely done. Scarlett holding, oh no, they're holding her own. Meanwhile, the Swarmhurst, they get caught out. Not like this. Losing almost every single Swarmhurst. Ay, ay, ay. That was brutal. That was 6 Swarmhursts going down, and they did not pay for themselves. They did not pay. I mean, and you can see here the issue with going Swarmhursts against Battlemech specifically is that Battlemech is more active, is more mobile, has more of a presence on the map, and can punish. Oh. But Scarlett's doubling down. We have 7 more Swarmhursts on the way. She says, no, I'm going to make this work. So, okay. Okay. Scarlett does force us back. Scarlett up to 11 Swarmhost. That's creep is being denied. Kelazhur rotating around. You know, here comes that Locust Wave. It's spotted. BCs are ready, but I believe this time there are Corruptors. Yeah, 8 Corruptors. Locust Wave, they get 1 Cyclone and a couple of SCVs. Not bad. Likewise catching up the Nidus, getting on top of the Corruptors. Ooh, so many Corruptors going to be going down. The Fungal does graze the army, but still a more efficient trade here for the Terran, for the mech. Yeah, BC's not coming in. Oh! Piles don't quite connect. Well, there's no Fungal with this army. Yeah, the Piles are not gonna quite... I mean, they do graze the BC at least, but the Locals are brutal. And the Cyclones, they have their way with that ground army. Oh my god, so many Roaches, so many Ravagers gonna be going down. Now going for the Queens! The Queens, they get caught out! Ay, 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 every Queen falls. The Ravagers as well. Scarlett is remaxing, but that was a brutal loss for Scarlett. Mining is being denied as well. Again, that was not the fight to take. There just weren't any fungals there. There wasn't any support. Yeah, no support for the army. Kelazhur does win the fight. Speaking of though, oh, nice fungal. Nice fungal. Catching out 3 cyclones. So better pick up towards the end. Behind this, Kelazhur taking another expansion. Banking resources. Here is where we do need some more Hellion support. I mean, I say that. We haven't much Lings. We have some. But this time, Scarlett is going for a bit of a more Roach, Ravager, Infestor heavy composition. With Stormhost, less Lings. So you can make a stronger argument for Mass Cyclone here from Kelazhur. So there are less Zerglings. Scarlett just now getting into +2 melee. Meanwhile, the base is going to be denied. Kelazhur will not expand. It's a kill. It's a kill on the CC. Kelazhur taking another base. BCs are moving out. There are 5 Corruptors. Yamato is done. Uh-oh. No spores. Remember the queen count was reset. There's only 4 queens. Okay, the queen count is not there. And there are only 5 Corruptors. Bearing in mind there are 3 Yamatos, but oh, Kelazhur does pull away. Does teleport. And Scarlett still has her Stormhost and still trying to make use of them. Speaking of Locust Wave is about to be sent out. Once again, the Stormhosts are getting caught. Oh no, they're locked in. Oh my god. Brutal snipe. They do burrow, but the Stormhosts, they're trapped. And Scarlett, can she save them? Going for another Nidus. Locust Wave is the Locust Wave is running out. And brutal scan. We spoke about it. The Cyclones, they catch up the Stormhosts for a second time. And once again, this just emphasizes how difficult it is to pull off Stormhost play against Battle Mech. It's so difficult to get away with them. Also, props to Kelazhur for being active like that, right? For being active, for splitting up his army, searching for those Nidus worms. Kelazhur moving in, pulling Scarlett apart. And the base is going to go down. Knocks down the expansion, knocks down the mineral line. Kelazhur just overwhelming. We have 40 Lings in production. Let's go. Oh my god. As Kelazhur is running out of steam a little bit. Running into Bailings. Yeah, Bailings do crash in. Remember, we have Ling reinforcements. Scarlett can still take a fight. Kelazhur, he has to back off. Has to respect this. Lings are spotted. Okay, that was 44 Lings in production. They shut down the Cyclones. And we need some Hellions now. Now is the time for Hellion reinforcements. Scarlett has been losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line. Scarlett down to 68 drones. Kelazhur's the one on 80. Kelazhur this time has a booming economy, especially compared to Scarlett's. There we go, 6 Hellions at a time. Kelazhur's rebuilding. How many Infestors? 3. 3 Infestors for Scarlett. She has a couple of fungals in the bank. Ooh. Mineral line is denied. Scarlett moving in. Catching out Kelazhur. Where's the kiting? Oh my god. Late reaction. Does have a late reaction. Fully back to the tank. Planetary's not done. And Kelazhur's being cornered. Yeah, there's no way out of this. Here come the fungals. Kelazhur just cornered here in the center of the map. At the same time, here comes the second army though. We pull off a surround. No shot. The surround comes in. And who catches who? Fungal's not good enough. The Cyclones, they surround the Ravagers. And with that, Kelazhur takes the fight, overwhelms the VCs that's still alive from the start of the game. Infestors get caught. Oh, it was a bait. Kelazhur saying, oh no, I'm trapped. You have me cornered. No, no. Not like this. There were plenty of Cyclones. And with that, Kelazhur has done it. Will overwhelm, breaks through the main army, takes out all the Ling Bane. Kelazhur still has a greater economy, and GG gets called. Kelazhur will tie the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Whew, we have a tied series. We have a back and forth. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Let's go. That's all I wanted. That's all I ever wanted here. We're going all the way to game 5. But who will claim the series? Again, it's been very intense, very back and forth. I'll be honest, saying one thing here. I'm a little bit surprised by how... Oh. I'm a little bit surprised by how... So we're getting into the next game. By how much Kelazhur has been committed to and investing into mech in this series. Has done it quite often here, actually, quite often. Most I thought like maybe like twice at most, but that was the 3rd time. So we've seen quite a bit of mech out of Kelazhur. So now getting into the ace match, and we'll see if Kelazhur does embrace mech once again. Here we go. Referring to the previous game, of course, Kelazhur, he was able to achieve quite a lot of damage with the initial opener, opening up BC into the Hellion run by. If you recall, the big moment where Scarlett did lose her economic advantage, or her economy, was when Kelazhur went into 16 Hellions, split them up into 2 groups, and was able to just annihilate an entire mineral line. It was crazy just how many drones were roasted there. From there, Kelazhur was able to, in a way, gain map control, able to take some better fights, of course, as well, with those cyclones. We saw that Scarlett did attempt to invest quite heavily into swarm hosts, into Nidus swarm hosts, as we were trying to emphasize. It can work, don't get me wrong. I want to say that at least, that it can work against battle mech, but it is more difficult to make work against battle mech than against a more tank heavy form of mech, just because of how active the battle mech is. Like, ideally, you want to be bouncing back and forth with your Nidus Worms and going in, getting your Locust Wave out, and then pulling out, and then just, like, again, trying to outmaneuver the Terran opponent. But the problem is with battle mech is that they have map control. For the most part, they often do have map control, and it is more difficult to get away with those Locust Waves, to get away with those Nidus Worms unscouted. It can be quite hard, and we saw that Diego, Kelazhur, he was all over it. He was all over those Nidus Worms, all over those swarm hosts. So the investment into them just wasn't as worth it there. But here we go, we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Canadian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Shanghai Rebellion, being forced into the ace match. Can she bring it back? It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, tying up the series 2-2, bringing us all the way to the ace match. Momentum is on his side. It is Kelazhur. Ooh, as we are opening up 2x Reaper. Okay, now we did see this during the qualifiers. If you were here yesterday, Kelazhur did whip this out against Eggs during the qualifiers. I believe Kelazhur, I think he went 3x Reaper, if not mistaken. I think he doubled down and went up to 3x's as well. So we'll see which variation Kelazhur goes for. As a reminder, this is not an all-in, but this is very aggressive. It's a very aggressive start. The goal here is to go Mass Reaper, is to deny the 3rd base of Scarlett, contain Scarlett on 2 bases, for as long as possible, while building up behind it. As the Raxes are now done, or now finishing up, Reaper's going to be on the way, and Scarlett will confirm this with her Overlord. Now, as a reaction to this, ideally you want to pull back into gas. Like in a standard game, you pull out of gas, you don't need to rush into link speed, but upon seeing this setup, you need link speed a lot faster to help keep up with the Mass Reaper. And Scarlett does confirm the setup. As a result, will prioritize link speed, stays in gas. And Scarlett needs to confirm whether or not this is 2x Reaper or 3x Reaper. And upon seeing the CC, Scarlett knows. Okay, Scarlett, she has confirmation. She knows it is not 3x Reaper. As Kelazhur does poke in. So far just dancing with the army, does get one Zergling. Oh my god. And Kelazhur pulls away in time. Now this 2x Reaper follow-up typically goes into a heavy bio style, into stim. But we'll keep an eye on Kelazhur. as the factory follow-up is on the way. There are some players that will go straight into a CC from here, straight into a third command center. But Kelazhur already transitioning. We can see Kelazhur invest into only three Reapers. If Kelazhur saw a hatchery, Kelazhur will have to make an extra wave of Reapers going into a 4th and 5th Reaper to force a cancel. But there is no third expansion as Scarlett is contained on 2 bases. Kelazhur, he got what he wanted, and Kelazhur is transitioning into the follow-up. What do we have? Reactors on the way. Oh, going for an add-on swap into Hellions. Third CC on the high ground as well. So in a sense, 3 CC 2-on-1, but Kelazhur going for the add-on swap to Hellions is a little bit more unique. Typically, we see Reactor Tech Lab into fast Stim, but here Stim is delayed. Stim is going to be delayed. Starport on the way. Are we even going into Bio, by the way? Like, Bio is the standard follow-up, but we might just not. Okay, now we have a Tech Lab. Is this for an add-on swap? Yeah, you can see we're just using the Rex to scout. We're looking for the Overlord. Behind the Scarlett now expands, takes a third. But we can still, I mean, this should still be Stim. No, sure, add-on swap into Banshee. Yeah, right? Yep, add-on swap into Banshee. We're just using the Raxes for add-ons. Okay. So what is typically meant to be a bio follow-up could be something far more sinister. Could be. As again, the Raxes were just used for add-ons. Hellions are moving out. What do we have in the main? Show us what you got. Behind the Scarlett is going into Roach play, correct? Oh, fast lair. Fast lair, no tech yet. But we have plus on range on the way. I assume to get into Roaches, I would assume. Hellion breaks forward. Takes down a good amount of tumors. And there's that Roach Warren. There's a lot of tumors going down, but the queen count here is high enough. Scarlett does hold the line. And yeah, it's not going to be bio, is it? We should have Stim. Like, there it is. I was saying, like, yeah, the Rax is only used for add-ons. We are embracing mech once again. This is a more awkward follow-up. Like, as you can see here, like, these Raxes are doing nothing. Like, sure, they made add-ons for a time, but they've just been sitting there doing nothing since then. So this is, I would say, like, an inefficient follow-up from a 2-Rax Reaper. But he's getting there. Like, it's a little bit clunky, but it's happening. Okay. Okay, I see you, Diego. I see you. As Hellions they poke in, they catch up more tumors. We have Hyperlight Rotors on the way. Getting into Banshee speed. Roaches are amassing. Thankfully, Scarlett is playing Roach, by the way. Against Diego, it's just worth it. To play Roach every game. Ooh, but does catch the Lings. Ellie's getting caught out, a massive catch. As Kelazhur is pushing towards the bases. Roaches and Queens are keeping up. Yeah, that's a lot of Queens. It's a lot of Roaches. Kelazhur looking for another way in. Oh. Does bleed out a Hellion. Hellion does bleed out. Kelazhur rotating over. Does get into the middle line. Yeah, Eva Chambers just 1 second too late. 4 drones go down, only 4. Kelazhur does pull out. Behind this, Scarlett has been droning, saturating, getting up to and working towards 4 bases, but this 4th base is late. Remember, the 3rd base has been delayed. The 4th base has been delayed because of the opener and because of the setup, so the economy is not where it needs to be. A lot of long distance mining, but the base is slowly getting up and running. Behind this fast infestation bit in towards infestors. So Scarlett is getting towards her ideal composition of Lingbane, Roach, Ravager, Infestor. She's getting there. Meanwhile, back at home, Kelazhur on 3 bases. Getting up to 3 bases. 4th CC is on the way. Working towards Battle Mech once again. Getting into Cyclone production. Diego, he's quite fond of the mech. Okay. I mean, it's pretty good. Can be quite difficult to deal with. Ooh, no spore. No spore in position. Drone's going to be going down. This is brutal. The queens are plenty of them. They do respond. They do react. That's still going to be 9 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. Likewise, no spore here at the natural. Yeah, no spores anywhere. Okay, there's a spore in the main. The spore in the main base, spore at the third, but no spore here in between these two bases. Banshees, they pop up. As we try to intercept the Banshees to get away, 16 drone kills. That's an entire mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal losses here for Scarlett. Scarlett has to re-drone, has to resaturate. 13, 14 more drones on the way. And throughout all this, Kelazhur just chilling. Just chilling back at home, getting a 4th base, investing into more Hellion Cyclone. And we have more Banshees producing. Now, I did mention this previously, but may as well reiterate for those that maybe weren't here for the previous matches. But these Banshees, they do play a pivotal role, not just when it comes to harassing, but when it comes to sniping high-tech units, specifically Ravagers and Infestors, the Spellcasters. We saw them used in such a way on Persephone, if you recall, and can be used here as well. As Infestors coming in, ooh, does get a nice fungal. Locks down mainly Hellion. Hellions are locked down. Ooh, queens, they get caught. Yeah, rough movement for the queens. And shout out to these Raxes, by the way, just giving permanent vision here. Being used as overlords. And she's a rotate over. They're headed towards the new mining base, the fresh mining base, but there is a spore this time. As spores have been thrown down in every mineral line. Scarlett is ready. Despite that, only one spore goes. Never mind. One spore is not enough. Spore goes down. Main army pushing on the right hand side. There are Infestors though. Oh my god. Catching out 2 Cyclones, but no follow up. Oh my god. Again, Kelazhur playing with fire. Has to get the hell out of here. Does pull away. You want Banshees to get into the main. They're being left on a move. Yeah, they're being left on a move. The Banshees, they're just being thrown away here. Brutal losses here for Kelazhur. Now he does notice. Losing 2 Banshees. Oh, nice fungal. Very nice fungal. Once again, catching out the Hellions. Hellions are caught. And Diego running out of Hellions here. The Banshees are going for the base, going for the expansion. Queens, they're late to react, late to respond. They're racing on over. No transfuse. And the base will fall. And Kelazhur making up for losing those Banshees earlier. Does snipe an expansion. Behind this, taking another base. The Rax finally being dealt with. Let's go. Kelazhur does get behind the mineral line. How many Infestors so far? 6. 6 Infestors for Scarlett. First space has been taken. Ooh, mineral line is still exposed. It's going to be another 6 drones falling. Meanwhile, Scarlett taking up towards Broodlords. Greater Spires on the way. Getting ready for Broodlord tech. Meanwhile, Kelazhur is maxed. And we'll see how he makes use of this army. So we're moving in. Fungals will connect. They catch out some of the army piles as well. Ooh, brutal connections. And Kelazhur has to get the hell out of here. Does get caught by the Fungals. And Kelazhur, he can still take the fight. He will chase. Yeah, he chases this down. And no Fungals left. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the lock-ons are brutal. And Ravagers are falling left and right. There's a scan. We maybe have 1 Fungal remaining. But the army crumbles. And the Infestors, they have to get out of here. No, the Infestors, get out of here. Lands 1 Fungal. That's still going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Every Infestor. The Infestors go down. Brutal losses there for Scarlett. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it was a close fight. And Scarlett does have somewhat of a bank, only somewhat. The Spore went down. Banshees, they arrive once again. Remember, there are no queens. 0 queens, 0 anti-air. The Banshees, they wreak havoc. They deny mining. No anti-air. There's maybe some infestors. There's going to be a fungal soon. Spore does rally in. Spore can handle this eventually. Oof, gets a Banshee. Scarlett will try to shut this down. The Banshee's still going ham. Still no anti-air, by the way. Oh, God. As more drones are falling. You know, a nice catch. Gets over the Cyclones. No Hellions. Yeah, limited Hellion support here. More Cyclones going down. As Kelazhur does quite well. That one Banshee. That one Banshee. We have one queen in production. Let's go. More queens are on the way, thankfully. And the Banshee will finally go down. I'll be honest, based on how much damage these Banshees have been doing, I kind of wish that Kelazhur would go back into them. Kelazhur, he has stopped Banshee production for quite some time, but like we've seen them get a lot of value here this game. I feel like there's still value to be had. But Kelazhur is just doubling down on purely Hellion Cyclone. No more Banshees, unfortunately. Like, they have their place in this composition. Meanwhile, Fungal's coming in. Oh my God, another massive Fungal. Yeah, the Fungals are brutal, and Kelazhur should not be out here. He should not be here. Losing so many Cyclones. Hellbats to go for a run by. Scarlett is remaxed. Kelazhur is not. Kelazhur has a bank, but again, Kelazhur out of position. Took a bad fight. Has to race on over. Hellbats, they catch a couple of queens. But you see, Kelazhur is struggling. Kelazhur, because of some of these more inefficient trades, Kelazhur, he has no bank to work with. Oh. Nicely done. Does catch the Overseer. There we go. Now going back into Banshee. He's like, you know what? The Banshees are pretty good. Yeah, they were. So now getting back into them somewhat. We're up to 1 Banshee. God, that is so many infestors. I think I would say, like, once we get into this many infestors, now these Cyclones are less valuable, and yeah, I think this is the right call. We have to go into tanks. Like, now is the time to go into a more traditional, like, tank-heavy style. There are just so many Fungals. Speaking of, oh my God. More Fungals grazing the army. We do see Kelazhur just on the edge. Oh no! As takes another Fungal. Cyclones, they maintain themselves. Another Fungal just grazes the army. And nice trades here from Kelazhur. He does quite well. We have ship weapons on the way. Ooh, so once again, Cyclones are getting caught out. But not enough support for them. For the infestors, I mean. Yeah, another big Fungal. Ooh, as we do now capitalize on this massive chain Fungal here, and Cyclones are falling one after the other. Expensive losses for Kelazhur. Ay, ay, ay. That was what, 10 Cyclones? Banshee goes down. 21 Cyclones falling. And again, Kelazhur, he needs to be more efficient than that. He doesn't have the bank that he needs. Not for those kind of trades. We have a Liberator on the way. That is interesting. Against this heavy of a Ravager count, it's going to be difficult to really have them get too much. Tank is isolated. Tank goes down. Kelazhur is still just committing though. Still playing with fire. Oh my God, another Fungal. Another Fungal connects. Oh. Lock-ons are trading nicely though. How about back and forth? Are we running out of Fungals? Yeah, those are the only 3 infestors. I'll take down one more Cyclone. Kelazhur trying to chase. Again, Fungals are limited. Liberator does go down. Never mind, Liberty barely survives for a little bit longer. Yeah, Scarlett now reinforcing the pure Ling. We have 22 Lings in production. And you can see Lings, they just collapse here on the Cyclones. They waste the locals, tanks, they rally into the army. And Scarlett, I think, has done it. Scarlett, I think she has done it at this point. Just some really rough trades here for Kelazhur. Broodlords have arrived. And Scarlett will overrun. Again, we were stuck on Cyclones for too long. For a little bit too long here. Ay. Broodlord's not moving in. I mean, I say that maybe I should believe in the power of more Cyclone, which we're still committed. But Cyclones aren't the best answer here to Broodlords. The problem here, of course, is that Broodlords have the support of all these Infestors. If the Cyclones try to commit in, then we can, of course, fungal them down. As the Broodlords do push forward. Push forward. Hellions, they do get into a free mineral line. Not bad. Drones are going down, but the center base will fall. Now we have some Thor production. Thors are on the way. Making 6 Thors out of Jesus. 6 Thors out of time. That's a lot of Thors. Yeah, 6 Thors are on the way. A couple of Vikings as well. I believe there's only one starport, correct? Yeah, only one starport. So that one starport has a lot of work to do. Going back into Vikings. As the Ravagers are exposed on the road. Where are the Lings? Yo, no Lings, no Infestors. The Ravagers are going down. Files don't quite connect. That was a massive catch here for Kelazhur. Scarlett out of position. Toss down a fungal. Lings are rushing forward. Oh my god, now Kelazhur out of position. Kelazhur does overextend. Takes down a Brood. Oh, that was a massive punish though. We're getting messy. We're not getting Ronaldinho. Ooh, as another Broodlord falls. A nice catch with the Viking. Does zone away. Another fungal. Lings, they collapse on the Thor. Again, Lings are amazing against Thors, against Cyclones. We need those Hellbats to support. Scarlett pulls away. Okay, Kelazhur still in this. Like, catching all those exposed Ravagers was huge. Like, that was so many Ravagers going down. That was 15 Ravagers getting caught. Unfortunately, the Infestors were with the Broodlords in the center of the map. So they weren't there to support the Ravagers specifically. Behind us, we do have Hellions getting into the Minrines once again. Oh my god, the Hellion Rumblers! Yeah, they morph into Hellbats, catching out 12 drones, getting a lot of economic damage, forcing Scarlett back home, and this is alleviating so much pressure. This is allowing Kelazhur to now expand, to build up his Thor count. At this point, there's only one. No, he has 0 Broodlords. There's 0 Broodlords, so the Thors aren't as impactful. Oh, Lings, they get a full surround. Oh, good. They collapse on the Cyclones. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. So many Cyclones go down. The Lings, they pop up. Oh my god. Yeah, very efficient fight. Even catching both those Thors as well. You can see how well pure Ling can trade here without any Hellions. As Lings, they killed 8 Cyclones and 2 Thors. Like, the gas trade was crazy. 200 gas for 1,300. Ravagers now morphing in. You know, the Banshee going for the Infestors, but just the one Banshee. We no longer have that like 5 Banshee hit squad. Just one. It's getting damage. Oof. Does go down. Hellions getting caught. Ducklings getting called out. Kelazhur pushing forward. Kelazhur going back in a couple of Banshees, building up his tank count. You can see here that the kind of composition is morphing here from Kelazhur. But Ladies are coming for a surround. They collapse on the army, getting on top of the Thors. But this time we have tanks. This time we have Hellbats. We go for the Neural. But the Infestors being targeted down. Okay, brutal targeting all those Infestors. We do have a brutal trade here. Scarlett bleeds out a lot of high-tech units. The Infestors. Infestors, they're targeted towards the end by the Banshees. The Banshees once again the MVPs. As that was every Infestor going down. And that was a messy fight. Scarlett bleeding out those Lings. Ravagers now falling again to the Banshees, to everything. As Banshees will just hunt down those spellcasters. They will hunt them down. Getting the final Ravager. No Ravagers left. Tanks have to get the hell out of here. They have to get out. Here come the reinforcements. Getting one, getting two. Hellions are trying to come in. Oh, but it might just be too late. No Hellbats. But Kelazhur yields. He does hold the line. And once again, he punishes those roaches. We have 11 Infestors. That's 11 Fungals, by the way. Oh my god. Okay, going to Mass Ravager. Here come the Fungals. Ooh. Losing another Infestor. Yeah, once again, the Infestor hit squad is here. Well, I should say the Infestor hunting hit squad. Okay, 2 more Infestors. Looking for another. Getting up to 3 Infestors already before the fight begins. And finally, they're going to be hunted down. Oof. Another base could be falling. But Kelazhur, he's running out of gas. Ooh, he needs to mine. Needs to get it. He needs to pull in. Yeah, no gas income. Gases are limited. No gas income here either. Not yet. Yes, he's running out of gas geysers. Oof. Kelazhur, he needs those gases. Oh. Another fungal. Oh my god. There's still some brutal losses there for Scarlett. What's that? Another 4 Infestors going down. Scarlett cannot push into this. We have planetaries now. We have tanks. Another base being denied. Scarlett not going back into Broodlords. The Thor count has been reset. True. So no more Thors. No more Thors. There are some Cyclones. That is true. But again, they're still not ideal. And again, Kelazhur, he's very, very gas starved. Kelazhur once again breaking out. The scans will reveal the Broodlords now he knows. Up until now, he wasn't aware. But Broodlords are revealed. Another Infestor going down. Oh, does he get one more? Not quite. Yeah, not quite. Does like the base. Viking production has begun. But remember, there's still only one starport. I can't believe this entire game off of one starport has been crazy. Someone like promote like the people. Give them a pay raise. The people working inside the starport, I mean. They're doing so much for the Terran army. Give them a raise. Hard workers. So here we go. We do commit in. The Broodlords, I mean, they're doing quite a bit here in the back line. Yeah, there's no good answer. Broodlords, they just get that free damage. SCV is going to be going down. Here comes the one Viking. Let's go. The Miles. Oh my god. Planetary falls. And again, there's no Thors, there's no Vikings, or there's only one. The Broodlords, they bully the ground army. Kelazhur going for a run by, going for a counterattack. Scarlett has time to respond. Oh, One of the Broodlords getting caught out. Nice fungal, but no follow-up. Yeah, no more fungals here. Oh my god, they crash in! Bathers, they crash into the Hellbats. Lynx pushing forward as well. Oh, the Lynx are falling. There's that one Thor. There's one Thor. There's 3 Cyclones. There we go. Second Thor has arrived. The Broodlords are on their own. But the Ravagers, they do come in. They go for the tanks. Tanks are stacked. 2 tanks are down. And Scarlett, I think she's done it just barely. It's so close. Pass out another Thor. Oh my god. Down to 2 Broodlords. 2 Broodlords remaining. Oh my god. Scarlett pulls away. Scarlett still has a bank to work with. Even remaxing with pure Ling is still good enough. The Ling remax. Let's go. The Thor's exposed. Go for the Thor. Oh my god. Barely not. Mismovement there, miscontrol from Diego. Mispathing, I should say. The one Viking. Oh my god. The one Viking takes down the Broodlord. The hero Viking. Mining's being denied. Again, Kelazhur, he is so broke. And Scarlett is maxed. Scarlett, she's maxed out. Kelazhur just running out of money. Scarlett catches up the final army here, and then Kelazhur is just out of steam. At this point, he's just out of resources. Kelazhur being chased down. Scarlett has done it. It was a very intense back and forth. There were moments for both players. Went all the way to the ace match as well. And again, both players deserving to make it far in this tournament, in this qualifier, but there's only room for one. And with that, another base falls. Kelazhur down to 1 base mining, half a base mining, really. And again, he had some strong moments in this game. Likewise, so did Scarlett, of course. In the end, Scarlett has more bases, has more income, can take these trades. Once again, moving in. Scarlett maxed out, or getting soon to be maxing out in her element. Going back and forth. And what do we have left? We have 4 Cyclones. We have 4 Cyclones, a handful of Hellions. Oh no, the fungals are coming in. Get out of here. And GG gets called. There's just nothing left, and Scarlett will take the series 3-2, advancing on to the next round of the qualifier, to round 2. GG. GG, well played, Scarlett. She will do it. She will surpass the mech. Crazy, might be crazy. The mech goes down. GG, well played. GG, well played. As Scarlett will claim the series, and Kelazhur Diego, he will go down to the lower bracket. As a reminder, this is a double elimination bracket, so Kelazhur has another chance, but Scarlett will advance on to the next round. And again, that was only round 1. Round 1 of the qualifier. That's crazy. But what a banger of a series. Again, very close, very back and forth. Definitely a close one here, and the entire the entire rest of the tournament of the bracket was waiting for us, by the way. So let us head on over. Let's catch up what's been going on. Let's figure out where we are. Also, again, congratulations to Scarlett. Does claim the series. Against Scarlett, she was able to have better tech switches, better tech transitions. Kelazhur, he at times had later scouting of the Broodlords or of the Infestors or of the Ling support that was coming out. I had a harder time adjusting, and also one too many times was caught out in the open as well, taking some more inefficient trades where he otherwise ideally doesn't want to. Again, the mech army is supposed to be the more efficient army here, but multiple times caught out by Lings, caught out by Fungals, caught out by Broodlords. GG, well played. Crazy series. I do think that, I was joking about it earlier, but I do think the lack of additional starports was hurting Kelazhur quite a bit. It meant that his reaction to the Broodlords was always really delayed, and likewise him trying to go back into Banshee play was also really awkward as well, just because he only ever had 1 starport at a time. So it took a lot longer to build up an entire army, so the Broodlords were more effective for longer. Likewise, took longer to get into more Banshees, so that Banshee hit score was smaller than otherwise could have been as well. I do feel like that was really hindering, or yeah, I do think it was quite hindering here of Kelazhur. And GG, well played. Whew, oh my god. And let's catch up. Let's catch up with the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's figure out where we are. Here we go as we switch our scenes over and refresh. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look back yourselves. The bracket has been progressing, and here we go. Oh my god, there we have the fun fact, we were locked in our first series. All the other matches concluded in the middle of our just one series. Trigger took down Master 3-0, Special took down Future 3-1, and Trigger took down Special 3-0. All that happened while we were just playing out our series. Really fast matches elsewhere. Meanwhile, Estrella takes down Cham 3-0 as well. So again, a lot of more one-sided series. Again, we knew what we wanted. We knew what was gonna be. Oh, that is not correct on Wikipedia. It says 3-0 for Scarlett. Hold on, let me just fix that. Hold on, where are we? Scarlett 3-2. Who's editing this page? 3-2, not 3-0. Save changes. I got you. Hold on, I'll cast and I'll edit Wikipedia at the same time. There we go. 3-2. Funada, whoever's editing this page. But yes, Scarlett does take down Kelazhur 3-2. Does advance on a face off against Estrella. Meanwhile, even Future's match already finished as well. Future took down Master 3-0, advancing on to the next round as well. We have our next series. So if you want to follow Scarlett into Estrella, that is going to be covered by the mainstream. The mainstream, shout out to Steadfast and Behemoth, they are going to be following Scarlett into Estrella. They have dibs on that. For those that are curious, we are just a community stream, and the mainstream, they have priority. So if they won a match, they get it. So the mainstream, they have Scarlett versus Estrella, so do check them out. We are going to be following Kelazhur into Cham instead. So we're going to be following Kelazhur into Cham, as Kelazhur is still in the tournament. Technically, I could try to cast Scarlett versus Estrella by using the clean feed, but it would make the most sense. It would make the most sense for me to follow Kelazhur into Cham. Make the most sense.